salutations everybody, Shaller90 here, and today we're going to continue the Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, and why don't we play as Coco for a little while and see, like, her in action. To be honest though, it's really not that different. So here, the stage is telling me if I get the blue gem, I can come back and do another passageway later on. So, I need the blue gem to do this stage. So Coco is... oh, I got machine. Huh. Coco is basically the same as Crash. She has the same playstyle, she has the same abilities. Nothing that crazy, it's just a skin, but it's kind of cool to have. They acknowledge the character. Oops. Oh, that's another thing I should point out. I didn't mention this in the previous video. When you spin, you can actually knock, like... oh, I failed. Great. You can actually knock fruits and other collectibles off the screen, which you really don't want to do. I think there's actually an achievement for doing that, for knocking an extra life off the screen. And I think that's hilarious. Oh. Okay, so what happened there was I spun a plant, and it actually knocked the plant behind it into the TNT ahead. Also, I feel I should mention, in the previous video I mentioned something about stages in this game having a progression, like there'll be one easy version of the stage and then one slightly harder version of the stage later. This is the equivalent of the rolling boulder stage. This is the second rolling boulder stage, and it's slightly harder than the first one, and that's basically how Crash Bandicoot progresses. You'll have one version that's easy so you can get the hang of it, and one version that's not as difficult, but slightly harder. That kind of thing. And unfortunately, I'm going to lose my Aquatic Invincibility here because I've got a ton of bonus game to play. Like a boss. Alright. Unfortunately, once again, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a perfect in this run, because I do believe there's the blue gem passage. So I can't actually finish the stage 100% on my first try. But what is unique is I'm going to find this here. This is an embryo token, and there are 3 of them in a stage, just like the Thomas stage tokens, and I took a hit there unnecessarily, but I still got through, so... yeah, the embryo stages, they're basically other bonus minigames. There's Tana, there's Embryo, and there's Cortex. But of course, I didn't get all the boxes, so... yeah, they have to hammer the message home. They do that a lot in this series. You kind of get used to it.
I thought I'd better hammer it in.
Alright, so Hog Wild. Here you can't play as Coco, unfortunately. And this is the first actually difficult stage in the game, in my opinion. This is the first of the 2 Hog Wild stages, where you have to ride on a warthog running wildly through a village. These stages are hard, but also kind of fun, so I can't complain too much. You can't really stop, so you have to veer out of the way of objects and into the boxes. And if you touch anything, you die. So this may sound familiar to those of you who have seen my Battletoads playthrough, because it's like that. Only with moving objects, because of course it has moving objects. Oh man. Okay. So I find the easiest way to dodge these guys is to try and stay close to them and then veer out of the way as you approach. Or just jump to the side. Ugh! Those things, the roasting hogs, they are somewhat difficult to determine whether you want to jump or not, because their positioning is somewhat random. Oh man, but I got it on my first try and I got the gem. Okay. I was kind of expecting to have to do that again, to be honest with you. But I guess I managed to do it, so I won't complain too much. The second version of that stage, though, Whole Hog, is going to be a lot worse. I can promise you that. And with that, we made it to the final level of the first island, the Native Fortress. So this is basically a harder version of the Great Gate stage that I did earlier. Now, kind of funny, when I played this on my PS3, or on my PS3, I actually remember having a lot of difficulty with this stage my first time through. On PSX, I don't remember having too much difficulty on the first island. It's the second island where the difficulty really ramps up, in my opinion. Although this stage is actually legitimately pretty challenging, and that was a dumb move. I should have waited. Oh well, that's what happens when you try to rush. Crash Bandicoot actually does tend to punish rushing. It encourages that you take platforming somewhat carefully. Although there are some sections where you have to floor it to get through effectively. One thing you want to be very careful of with those, though, is the fire. The hitbox can kill you even at the very, very end of the animation. So you want to wait till the fire has completely vanished before you try the jump. Otherwise, you're very likely going to get hit. Trying to be a lot more careful here because I don't have an Aku Aku mask, which means if I get hit once, I'm dead. Yeah. Okay. Oh, ton of Bandicoot minigame. Okay. That was a little bit easier than some of the previous ones. I guess the hidden box was kind of there to trick you a bit, make you think you missed one. In the original Crash Bandicoot, there actually wasn't a box counter, so that one would have been very easy to overlook. But overall, Crash Bandicoot's main difficulty is, like, its platforming as a whole. There's not really any gimmicks thrown in. It's basically just some really tricky platforming. And honestly, I kind of like it for that. I think it's very fair with how it chooses to be. And you can get better if you just play the game a lot. Now, it's worth noting that there is a shortcut here. You can go behind this wall and basically bypass all these platforming. But if you do that, you can't get all the boxes because there's quite a couple of boxes on this path, I believe. Oh my god.
Wrong! Incorrect! Unacceptable!
Now. Yeah, that actually legitimately scared me. That guy could have shoved me into the pit if he wanted to. Oh no, that shortcut would have led me over here, so I could have bypassed all the platforming and just skipped over that.
Just my luck!
Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slippery, slidey platform. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of a tricky part. I actually lost quite a couple of lives in the PS3 version trying to figure this shit out. Because I couldn't figure out how to bypass an upcoming part without getting hit. Because I guess I was being stupid when I played it on the PS4. Yeah, this part. So there's a series of torches all in a row. All you have to do... Oh, okay. I guess I still screwed up at it. Never mind, I guess I'm still stupid.
How can we be so stupid?
Really, all you have to do to get past that is just go really fast. I guess I wasn't fast enough.
You're too slow!
But they give you a lot of lives, so it's not terrible. But as you can see, I did not get the box bonus, because once again, there is an alternate path with the gem platform. You need the gem in order to get the platform. That's going to be a consistent theme in this run for the first little while. Because until you start getting to the color gem stages, it really does get in the way. Anyway, now that we've beaten the native fortress, we move on to Up the Creek, which is the second riverbed stage and the harder riverbed stage. And once again, I have to reiterate that it's basically just the same thing, but with improved difficulty. That is how Crash Bandicoot operates, and honestly, it's to its credit. I actually legitimately enjoy this style of play. I kind of wish more games operated on this idea, because it's easy to pick up for a newer player, and it's easier to master for somebody who's played the game a lot. Once you get the hand of all the gimmicks, the stages become a little bit easier to manage, and there are still some stages where there's only one stage if it's type dotted in, so you can't automatically assume you know everything about the game. Like, for example, this stage has the monkeys, which they push you off the ledge if they're rolling, so they can push you off the stage into the river. And Crash cannot swim in this game, so if he falls into water, it's an instant death. Okay, let's see. I probably could have made that jump if I'd gone for it, but oh well. Let's see. So you see, that monkey there was a trap. If I had gone for it earlier, he would have pushed me into the river. That fish you have to spin. Alright. So this box, I activated that. That made some invisible boxes appear elsewhere in the stage. But this is one of the first examples of Crash Bandicoot being tricky because the boxes that appear are actually back. They're down there. Now, this is only the first Crash. There aren't too many instances of that, and the ones that do exist are fairly simple to pick up on. Later on in the other Crash games, from my understanding, there are some really complicated ones that require you to really think outside the box. It should be worth noting that I know the first Crash game fairly well because I grew up with it on PlayStation. I have never played Crashes 2 and 3, so that's going to be a new experience for me. So I hope you guys are eager to see that when I get to it. Hopefully it'll be interesting to watch. It might be a little frustrating for some people who know those games better than I do. And I apologize if it gets a little grating at times because I don't know what I'm doing in those games, but I'll try my best to pick up real fast. I mean, it is very similar to this. It's just more gimmicks, more mechanics, more puzzles, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. I just think I should, like, hit that nail on the head while I'm still waiting. I do not know Crash 3 and Crash 2 all that well. I only know what I've seen about it in other videos, so look forward to that, I guess. Alright. Oh! I see, this is a bit trickier because I've got a fish in the way, and I could try to kill him, but that's pretty risky since I might fall in the water. And I've also got a snapping plant here, which will kill me instantly if I'm standing on it. So I gotta wait for the right timing, which is now, so I can do that, basically. And oh, I actually did get the gem in this stage. Cool. Okay. Very neat. That animation is awesome, by the way. I love that animation of Crash. It's even funnier in the original, but that's neither here nor there. And now we're at the second boss, Ripperoo. However, I am going to save the game right here for now, and I will continue in the next... I just loaded. I just fucking loaded. Oh no!
What? Erased? Well, stop jabbering and get it back!
Ah. Beautiful move. Absolutely beautiful.